Welcome back, everyone, to the LCS Challengers Summer Promotion Game number 1. We already have game number 1. We're on series number 2. There we go. I got to bring us back.
You got there.
Brain,
proud
it's
of you.
not working as well today. I was sick over the weekend, so catching up, revitalizing right now. But Ole Miss, man, that was a good win right there. I mean, this is a team that they struggled against in the open qualifiers. Again, 0-5 in the open qualifiers, and Ole Miss are able to put that aside and take that win against CCG in game number 1.
Yeah, it's definitely gotta feel really good. I loved your end game call of nobody beats Ole Miss 6 times in a row, and it's gotta feel good. Again, kind of lends a little bit of credence to that idea that that finals really wasn't them, the Ole Miss that we're used to seeing, where they got 3-0'd like that. But you know, not saying the series is over for CCG. I still think they're a very good team, and they had some angles where they looked like they were bringing it back. So now in this game 2, I want to see what their game plan is. I want to see if they can answer back, or if Ole Miss will give us an early wrap-up.
You know, and since we got some extra time now, we can talk a little bit more about these teams in specific, right? Because we didn't get that much time. We talked about some of the more highlightable things.
Yeah.
Most improved on the season was your Uncle Sam. MVP of the split was Shogo. But this squad, another Sea-Law squad, of course, so far had a pretty rough fight to get over here. But now that they're in the promotion tournament, they seem like they're at least punching above their weight class and making a good statement for themselves.
Right. After talking to a couple of people, the consensus, because I don't think we really talked predictions about who we're thinking is actually going to promote. I know a lot of people with the changes to the Mirage Alliance roster think they're about guaranteed. I'm also in that camp, to be honest. I really like the changes they went for, and CCG is the other team that they have. So I agree with those. But the caveat for me was that I saw a world in which Ole Miss could upset and be the one to promote over CCG. I still favor CCG, but I mean, this game is kind of an example of what could happen. As long as Ole Miss can do it again, certainly possible. Or, you know, we see CCG win 2 games in a row, and then they just pack up Ole Miss and move on to their next match.
But again, CCG is a tough squad beat down. It's not going to be that easy. Even in this game, I mean, where Ole Miss won, it took them a long time, and they almost had it turned on them quite a few times. We saw what happened in the mid lane.
They almost turned it on themselves.
Yeah.
Let's keep it 100.
But it did show that the mid-jungle of CCG are trying their best to really sync up. We already saw that utilization of the Nocturne and Orianna. There were moments where it just didn't seem like it all really worked together. There's that one time over by the Baron where Bradley goes one way, Yukino goes another. It's moments like that where we need to see the team play start to come together. We know these players individually are quite amazing, but you know the case what happens when you get a bunch of good players on one team. You get the Cloud9 situation. You need shot calling, and you need a voice to really dictate where the flow is going to be. That being said, I do think Trevor has been a great shot caller in the past for multiple teams that he's been on, and I don't think CCG are out just yet.
No, absolutely not. And again, I think part of a lot of what went over to Ole Miss's win, in my opinion, was that was a really good draft. Right? It was a good response to the Nocturne Ori, and we saw time and time again how there were few successful plays that CCG were even able to make in those circumstances. So we go back to the drawing board, we see what that draft is going to look like. This is Fearless, guys, so we're going to see different champs. We're going to see different champs from both teams. And if those who don't know, it is Fearless in the qualifiers as well, so they are well practiced in this format, and I'm sure have many of strategies that they are cooking.
Definitely going to be interesting. I want to see what else is going to come out from the wheelhouse of a lot of these players, especially someone like Bradley. I got to hype him up time and time again just because, you know, he started off as a mid lane player back in Bethany, back in Wildcard, went over to Team Liquid, took the top lane role, now back in the mid lane. I asked him a little bit about how his time on Team Liquid felt, and he said for the most part it was ups, but there were some downs here and there, right? On one end, he felt like some of the praise he got was a little bit unjust, and it was more his team lifting him up. But on the other end, it was an excellent space for him to develop, and it even helped him recognize some of the areas that he needed to work on.
Yeah, and I think that's a really cool thing that even if it's in a different role, there were some takeaways from him as he now approaches playing in mid lane again. And it is exciting to see what he's going to be able to do alongside Yukino, who I honestly was a pretty promising jungler when he played for 100 Thieves Challengers. I remember the praise he got from his team and how good he was to work with. I think that was the most important thing. To me, I think it's really cool when a player, especially one that young, that talented, is also, I think, pretty humble, willing to listen to feedback, good to work with, and improves decently quickly.
I mean, Yukino is always looking to get better. That's one of the awesome things about having a player as ambitious and as young as Yukino. You know, 100 Thieves, the whole development system over there, it went very poorly, and Yukino felt like that wasn't the best display of what this player can actually do. So as we head into the draft, it's time to show that's going to be. Bans have already come out, pretty much staying with a very similar bounce to last time. This time CCG gonna insta-lock the monkey as Wukong picked.
A very popular pick. I think it's fine early on. It's something Yukino actually has played quite a bit this split and even last year when he was in Challengers. So I think that's fine. You have a lot of engage options, and you can still take this in a lot of different places in terms of the rest of your comp.
This leaves up the Jax that was picked earlier. When we did see that, I mean, there were definitely some pretty good angles from Crimson when he was on that Jax. Now it's going to be Stray's turn to demonstrate that skill.
Yeah, and Jax jungle really has popped up just because of the rise of, you know, Vi, Wukong, Xin Zhao has a really good response, and you do have that option to throw it to Stray in the top lane if there is a great matchup for you, depending on what we see from Crimson.
Next lock-in will be the Orianna, so that is something we saw CCG earlier. They were able to get that combo, and for the most part, it was utilized pretty decently, even with the loss. They had some good moments here and there. It was just the Kindred that really put a hard stop to a lot of that. So I'm curious to see what angle Ole Miss look to set up for, if they want to dive into that Nocturne Orianna combo and try their luck at it, or if they're going to go a different route.
I'm wondering too. So if it happens, I think it would end up being second round, but I don't think CCG will take any chances with that. They'll just probably ban that one away, especially because it is likely Wukong for Yukino. So bot lane, though, is going to end up being locked in. So again, it's the Jinx, Aphelios. We're going to see at least one of each and every game, I think, until both teams have played all of them. And it's just going to be about what carry you want to play as a response. Wow. They insta-locked the Kog'Maw. All right.
Interesting.
Jogo's played this.
I feel like I've seen something very recently on the timeline about Kog'Maw. I don't know if it was Shogo talking about it, but someone was really hyping up this pick.
I mean, he was hyping it up. He had a very nice and constructive conversation with LS in the replies as well.
Okay. That was what I was thinking about.
Yeah. But he is a really big fan of the pick. Ole Miss have played it even recently. They are big fans of that Kog'Maw Braum, which is still a pretty strong lane duo as well. So we could see them go that route.
So the first phase of the draft, Ole Miss gonna have their carries locked in for the time being. Still don't know where the Jax is going. That will be determined as we get later into this. It does seem like the next man going to be Rakan, so taking away some of the engage and, of course, protection that can keep this Jinx alive. Final ban for CCG Milio.
Yeah, it makes sense. You want to take away the two big range support options to pair up with the Kog'Maw. I'm wondering if we do end up seeing the Braum. I think it's fine already into what's showing for the side of CCG, or maybe they want to wait until that last pick to ensure that it's the best place for it, but I don't know. We'll see.
All right, next lock-in. So this does put the Jax into the jungle role now. You're going to have a solid rock over in that top lane. Stray will be on that Cassante, but this will give the counter pick over to CCG on what Crimson wants to go to try and match that from the top side.
Just waiting to see what this pick is going to be. Maybe some more frontline for Crimson, and it's looking like, wow, no hesitation. So that's interesting. The Jinx pairing on the bottom side. I think it's fine because you already have this Wukong who's going to go in. You have this Renekton who can follow up with him. But you also have these peel tools for your Jinx so that you can stay alive in team fights and that you can get a lot of damage done.
And it's a good amount of pressure on the Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw doesn't have much mobility. The only thing you really do is just slow people who are running at you, and that's the best shot you really got. So if Trevor wants to put a lot of pressure onto Shogo's Kog'Maw, it's one angle to go, but now you're going to have pressure matched as the Blitzcrank gets locked in for Ole Miss.
Yeah, so that's a great response coming through from Rhino. So you can just go ahead and pull this Thresh, pull this Jinx, and one good hook can set up so many good team fights, technically for either one of these sides. It's usually not something we often see with paired with the Kog'Maw, so there is going to be that pressure for Shogo to really be careful about how he's spacing in these team fights because he doesn't really have a lot of that protection. But Champ still scales nicely, can still do a lot of damage.
What I'm going to be watching out again, Wukong, Monkey. Its ability to get onto these low mobility carries and just wreck their day. That's something that Yukino really has an angle for given what the draft has gone through. Protection is quite limited to some extent. Counter-Strike isn't going to do too much. Q3, you got to rely on getting your 3 Qs in for the Desante. For the most part, you're just hoping on a good Shockwave and Rhino to be pinpoint with a lot of these rocket grabs to peel off, or engage for that matter. So I do like the Wukong going into this composition.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good, especially if you end up getting hooked in a fight. It kind of sets you up really nicely for that Cyclo, but also I think overall CCG have better space creation tools for their marksmen, because it feels like for both of these comps, that's where the bulk of the DPS is coming from, Eric. So the fact that they have Thresh, you have a lot of ways to peel for your Jinx there. You have the Wukong, who's going to make space. Same with the Azir. I'm kind of liking what CCG are cooking. But you still have Jax, who I think can still have an impact if you jump on top of this Jinx. And of course, like when Blitzcrank is in the game, anything can happen. You can miss most of your hooks, and one good hook could literally win you the game. So I think Ole Miss's comp's a little harder to execute, but they certainly have ways to win.
Definitely feel really good if they're able to take this on a clean sweep 2-0. Team that has swept them twice in the qualifiers. To bring it right back. Let us know who you are rooting for. CCG Esports. Type in CCG. Ole Miss. I've been Miss. Let us know who got this one. Teams now hit the map. I do want to bring up a quote that the coach from Ole Miss, Collimer, had told me. And I asked him, what are the aspirations of some of your players? One of them we jumped on was Stray, and he just said, I don't know. Dude wants to play League and go gym.
You know what? That's real.
Respectable.
And I can respect
it's
that.
Really respectable.
Yes.
It's like the MU mentality right there.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we love when players take care of their health and aren't stereotypical gamer gremlins. And I will say, I really appreciate really quickly, that shift into, I think this more healthier culture, at least around teams, where a lot of them encourage people to work out and things like that. Oh, God.
We're going to talk about that one beatdown. That was a hook for a hook that resulted in the Flash going wrong way.
Which answer do you want? You want the cope answer? Or
I want the cope. Give me the cope.
All right, I mean,
we'll
the
see
cope
how creative
is...
you can get with this cope.
I mean, it's not that creative. Rhino has Hex Flash. It's better than Flash, so it's fine that he used it.
You know what? Colorcasters are not bad at some pretty good cope right there.
Dude, what do you... I mean,
that was gourmet, man.
I genuinely... I love Hex Flash. I actually think it's, like, the funniest rune. And I don't mind, like, not having Flash because of it. So I honestly don't think it's that big a deal. Like, not even coping. It's fine.
Yeah, at this point, we're just going to continuously try and jump scare Instinct. Just Hex Flash on cooldown. See if you can force out Instinct's Flash in the process. We're going to utilize this as much as we can. I'm maximizing the cope.
It's not cope, man. I'm serious. Like, it's fine. Like, Hex Flash is real, man. I promise. Okay, it's cool.
Lee Sin can't hurt me. The Hex Flash can't either. Beat down.
Whatever, man. Back to the game in a more serious manner. So we kind of already talked about what these teams are kind of playing for here. I think I need to hold that thought because Yukino is playing for your Uncle Sam's Flash.
Yeah, Uncle's not feeling too good, but
it.
Actually, Uncle's feeling great. Uncle's having a vibe. Uncle's at the backyard party just sipping whatever brewski he has, and he's just chilling.
That's got to feel really good, too, because you see Yukino use a good bit of his time farming to do so, and Icelandic, I mean, he's just continuing to farm away. And it feels good for... Oh, I need to hold this stuff. Now Trevor is here. Dude, play safe mid, by the way.
We hate uncles here, man.
Trevor just flashes for this. No. Oh, no, Crimson!
No! They just wanted this man so bad. I don't know what Uncle Sam said during the draft or the pregame or anything, but CCG have it out for him.
And they just corralled him beautifully, to be honest. Only bright side, your Uncle Sam didn't use his flash, but it ended up being a good play, taking advantage of Crimson, getting that bit of proxying on. I think the only real cost is that Crimson didn't really get a chance to walk back. That extra time means he had to teleport, which feels kind of nice for Stray, who's going to be feeling a lot of pressure in this matchup in isolation. But I mean, your mid got first blood. This is still good.
At this point, like, send Instinct into the mid lane. All players.
He's the only one left.
CCG,
yeah.
He's the only one left who hasn't gone after Uncle Sam yet. That's just a crazy amount of pressure. 4 members in the first 3 minutes, just trying to punish him out.
I will say that did come at a cost. Trevor roamed at level 2, but you can see that pressure that it actually put on Instinct bottom side, since you mentioned. Shogo actually has a bit of a CS lead. They were able to get a wave crash on that bottom side. So, you know, it did come from more of a cost than I initially expected. And any bit of extra gold you can get onto Shogo, I think matters. We talk about how this team plays for him. We talk about how he's had his fair share of 1v9 games. And we did mention that this is a champ that they pick for him pretty often on the side of boldness. Actually, we talk about how these two teams have met a lot in the group stage in their first game. Shogo played Kog'Maw. He was actually super fed. And he had that position to potentially 1v9, but they ended up losing the game because Bradley, he was playing Asol, and it was 35 minutes. I don't think I need to say anything else.
Asol players.
Yep.
It was a lot of fun.
This is a chance for Shogo to bring it back.
Also, just going to throw it out there, I'm pretty sure your Uncle Sam has a pocket Asol in there, so let's see more. Let's see more on the day. Now here comes Bradley going after your Uncle Sam. Come on, we can't kill the man this many times this early into the game. Icelandic's there. Will be the bodyguard saying, let go of my uncle, please, please. You know, we'll give way to that. All the meanwhile, you have Crimson going after the Void Grubs.
Yeah, and Yukino managed to get some of that as well. Now you see the fight, actually. I kind of want to pan over to the Raptors to see who ends up walking away with this one. Upside? No? Okay.
No, go for the hook first. Or go for the fight first. Now the hook. All right, lands onto Trevor. Shogo's going to posture forward. Instinct wants to punish, and that is going to be the case. Puts down the Chompers, forcing the flash out of Rhino. And your Kog'Maw left dead to rights to Instinct.
That is great as CCG. The fact that you win on both sides of the map like that, it's a great feeling. You got the Yukino, with the help of Bradley, was able to get that kill on Icelandic. And this jungle is actually snowballing quite a bit, not just because of the kill, but you see the experience from doing the grubs, the CS lead that he has, and we're going to watch this one again in the replay. I mean, I think fighting for this grubs is kind of crazy. Unless you, like, try and take it immediately and you have the smite to play with, which you don't, I think it's really risky to actually do this because, I mean, your mid laner just recalled. He has no TP. Oh my god, it wasn't even the help. It wasn't even the help from Bradley. I thought he had helped. He just lost the 1v1.
It was a level advantage as well for Yukino.
Yeah.
Yukino was 5 into Icelandic's 4, so...
That's true.
It is what it is. That's how the cookie crumbles. Now CCG setting up on the Dragon.
Yeah, and it's a pretty fast level 6 for Yukino as well. Already has access to that Cyclone. So this acceleration from the side of CCG, it feels really good. They're winning on pretty much all fronts. Jungle, mid, AD carry, all have a kill to their name and have some minor league to speak of. Cherry on top, first break of the game. Feels great.
So far, everything going to the beat of CCG's drum. Has been pretty good and active on this map so far. And again, this is a player that has something very much to prove. Did not play in the last split due to the boot camping in Korea. Came back, instantly hit first in the Challengers ladder, as now Yukino going after Shogo. Have to hold that thought a little bit. Hook comes out. Rhino unable to land. Yukino still putting the pressure down there. And like that, CCG just lay control of this side of the map. Bradley goes in for a shuffle, finds it onto Rhino, and it's another kill for CCG.
Oh boy, I can already smell the game 3, Eric. CCG running away with this first game. And not only do they get the kill on Rhino, but a lot of that wave was dropped by Shogo on top of the turret plate CCG are able to get. This is just a tremendous lead they've gotten. It's almost 3,000 gold at 8 minutes in the game. And I mean, I gotta give props to Bradley too. Just for that setup there with the flash into the Emperor's Defy. This is why he's getting a lot of praise. He is a playmaker for this team, and that is why we are so excited for his return to mid lane.
Bradley is definitely out here with something to prove. Not just for how good of a player Bradley is, but how diverse of a player Bradley is. I mean, we used to hype up Bradley's gangplank when he was a top lane menace. And now still showing up in the mid lane. Was even willing to play support onto the season.
Wow.
Lots of flexibility for Bradley, and of course, lots of performances coming out.
100%. And speaking of Yukino, got to perform a little bit in the bot lane.
He's gonna perform on the bongos, except the bongo Shogo's head. A little bonk right there, and it's another kill for Yukino.
Yeah, so there's the angle. They're waiting for the recall that gets finished. Your Uncle Sam is just going to go and collect this wave. Actually, Icelandic is here too, so maybe they want to make a play. I don't know how much you can actually do, though.
I know. Let's look for that rocket grab. Nice dodge coming out from CCG's bot lane. They get out of the grab, they get out of the shockwave, they get out of dodge.
Really nicely done there from Trevor and Instinct. I will say, you get both of this Jinx Summoner spells out, so there's an angle for Old Miss to try and capitalize on that in the next couple of minutes, but wow! Do they have basically nothing else to show for this early game, Desrex. 10 minutes in, now we're past the 3K mark, and there isn't very much that they can kind of look to right now. Shogo has fallen so far behind. Look at the bot CS right now. Yeah, Shogo's going to collect some of this wave, but he's still down so much.
So many places we got to look, Beat. I mean, there's just fighting all over the place. As the Emperor's Divide comes out, Instinct's going to get a kill on Shogo in the bottom lane. All meanwhile, it's just a disaster for Ole Miss, Beat.
It is pandemonium, and you can see the pressure is mounting. Icelandic, he's getting in there. He's trying to see what he can do, but he doesn't have a splash. He doesn't have an actual angle, and now he's just going to walk away with his team in an even bigger deficit. The perfect time, Yukino wants to, he can just go for this next set of grubs, and that's an angle for CCG to just get 5 and have an even better time hitting structures.
Another look at that over in the bottom lane. This is what we missed earlier. I did notice Shogo was just tanking the wave all by himself.
Yeah.
Ultimate kill for Instinct.
Yeah, that extra damage from the minions, there's a lot of auto attacks going his way, but it doesn't help that he's a level behind, down in stats, the damage from Trevor comes through. Yeah, exactly. And it's just been a really good showing from Instinct and Trevor this game. And again, we talked about it in the pre-show. Instinct, I think he got a bad role playing for FiFam last spring. Wasn't the player we were used to seeing, and this split I think he's looked quite good.
Feels like everything's going wrong for Shogo right now. All the small things, you know. You accidentally stepped in a puddle with your socks, you know, your toothpaste fell off your toothbrush, and now Instinct and Trevor are just botting your bottom lane. It's a rough time.
Can you explain the toothpaste analogy?
Yeah, you never put the toothpaste on the toothbrush, and you put it in the water, and suddenly the toothpaste falls off, and you're just like, man, I gotta put more toothpaste.
Oh, I mean, fair enough. That usually doesn't result in my bot lane going 0-4, but I mean, maybe American brands of toothpaste. I don't know, dude.
Just saying, it's all the small things, Shogo, and none of them are going his way. He stubbed his pinky toe on the way here, from what I heard. You know, just right on the desk.
We just we just making excuses now. What's happening? Is this cope?
I'm saying it's a bad day for Shogo, Pete. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
it's
but
not
like
cope, it's not excuse. It's just having a bad day in this bottom lane.
I mean, to be fair, I did mention this is a hard comp because it doesn't really make space for this Kog'Maw, and the fact that Instinct is really rolling on this Jinx, there isn't very much peel. Lulu was banned, Milio was banned. They didn't go for something like a Renata. They picked the aggressive pick and Blitzcrank, and this is kind of the cost of it. because when things, when you can't make space for a champ like Ogba, there isn't as much he's going to be able to do. He's like any other carry.
Dragon already secured by CCG. Ole Miss, a little late to the fight, and CCG still with all the kills, with all the dragons. Thing into their favor. Hook comes out from Trevor, goes for the back end, finds it onto Icelandic. Rhino goes to half health. CCG just step out.
Yeah.
By the way, Beat.
Yes?
I'm suddenly getting DMs calling me a monster for putting the toothpaste on and then wetting the brush. I'm sorry. I've always done it backwards. My bad.
You know, I actually didn't clock that, but that is, you know what, to each their own. I'm just going to say I don't do that. I'm a water first type of guy.
The Counter-Strike lands. They're looking for Trevor. Trevor's able to step away from the artillery. It's Uncle Sam on the sidelines. He's a little bit too close, and he will get punished. Bradley gets the kill.
Oh my god, and it's just kill after kill. Oh.
Bradley is hunting him down, man. He will find the Blitz crank. The Kog'Maw's the only thing that's alive, and Shogo has to get out of dodge.
And this game is just falling apart. It's 9-0 for the side of CCG. And really the only thing they Ole Miss have to show for this early game is one single rub. That's a first brick to Jinx, a third kill into Instinct's pocket, and a 6,500 gold lead, Eric. We're 10 minutes in the game.
Good Trevor. He's even able to escape this. The living artillery was your only chance to finish this man off. And again, that stub toe for Shogo. It's just not working.
Yeah.
All right, Instinct has to battle it out with Uncle Sam. Will win the battle, but the ultimate from Rhino will take down Instinct. Looking for a rocket grab. Rhino, you've been missing so many of these. Finally, we'll get one, but it's returned by Trevor. Teleport comes out. The fight will continue. It's not going to end because there's a big croc in this lane, and he wants a piece of Icelandic. Surprise, it's a real weapon. Surprise, it's a Gator, and Shogo's going nowhere but to the respawn.
Wow. And it just pays off big time. Even though you're getting some free time on the top side with Stray, I was going to say Bradley was answering, but...
Oh, it's pulled over. Bradley's still trying to dance around. He knows the way the champion works. Unfortunately, Stray is just too big.
Yeah, so that ends up being a pretty nice play coming through from Stray. A much-needed reprieve for everything Ole Miss has lost in this early game. But, wow, it is a drop in the bucket. A drop in the ocean, even. This gold lead is immense. And on top of it all, CCG, they have been quietly stacking towards that Drake Soul as well. And I know the memes. LOL, Drake Soul, Keck even, but Chemtech Soul is usually not that popular. I think the damage reduction, when you're this far ahead, it just feels even worse for Ole Miss.
Yeah, me and my homies hate Drake Soul. We're all Rift Herald drifters.
I meant to say Chemtech Soul because you know, it's been memed basically its entire existence.
For a long time, yeah.
Its entire existence. The map was always cool.
When it came out, that was one of the first things we had on a broadcast together, was you just trashing on Chemtech Soul. Ooh,
I mean,
getting trashed on. This might be the instance for Crimson as he gets pulled in by Rhino. Ooh, he's getting a lot of damage back onto Icelandic. He will take him down. 1v3. This man is on fire. He gets the Q. It's a lot of health back, but not enough to finish the job. It doesn't matter. What a madman.
So much was lost, though. Instinct and Bradley share the bounty of a Tier 2 turret in the top side, and there's still so much gold in favor of CCG. They're already at the Tier 3 on this side of the map, and that's just going to make it easier for them to set up on top side. Get good pressure, over Dragon as well. And Shogo, I'm going to take a page out of your book. He's kind of feeling the poverty right now, because you can see he's only at one item. He's trying to get whatever gold he can, and unfortunately, cost him his life.
Oh, he's getting denied food stamps as well. Just nothing for Shogo. That's the 5th death of this Kog'Maw. Stray can't even get one back because of the lantern of Trevor. Turns his attention towards Bradley, and there's more members of Ole Miss now showing up to the fight. They will be able to claim Bradley. Now turning their attention towards Trevor. Battle of the Hook champions, but this time there's not a tower to turn this in the favor of Trevor. He will fall to Ole Miss.
We're getting a little crazy with this one.
Wait, this is still going. This is still going, okay.
He almost has
finally,
dominance.
Trevor's going to go down. We saw what happened last time Crimson took this. He's invoking the power of his brothers, and he's ready to take a top lane slugfest. Ring the bell, 2v3, 1v3, it doesn't matter. Crimson's here to fight.
Yeah, and to top it all off, Instinct, again, got some gold from the tier 2 turret in the mid lane. This time solo. He has the IE already built in 18 minutes, and even though CCG are going to be late to this Drake, I don't know if Old Miz are actually going to take this fast enough. You can see it. Instinct is an item ahead right now, and let's just look.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Put it away. Put it away. Oh.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to see that, Eric. Really quickly, I highlight Instinct at the top of the charts, but honestly, besides Trevor, all of CCG are topping the charts right now. And it just shows you how monstrous this early game has been. And to cap it all off, they got their Chemtech soul points.
It's only going to get worse for Ole Miss. It's not going to get any better. CCG have not been letting go of the gas pedal whatsoever. 8K in the lead right now. Walking into the jungle of Ole Miss like they own the place, because they basically do.
Not basically, they do. Herald's going to get them the last tier 3 turret on the map. The way CCG have just been dismantling.
Here comes Trevor, comes with Hex Flash over the wall. Cyclone follows through. Bradley will shuffle them all to their demise. And Ole Miss, they try to run away, but they can't escape the grasp of CCG.
Eric, are they going to end the game?
They're going to end the game.
It is sub 20 minutes.
They're going to end the damn game, man.
CCG are about to end. Stray, he's got to try and do something.
Stray's last stand, but looking like a stray kitten right now. He's all by his lonesome, dealing with 4 members. He's still clearing the wave, though. This has bought a lot of time for Ole Miss. CCG will not close.
Wow. Really clutch. Almost had the 20-minute finish, and now this teleport, this could be the start of a turnaround. It's tough, though. Both teleports are coming through.
Kino.
Oh,
Kino, they just need to burst him out. Doesn't matter if Kino doesn't have health. Stray is too late. Uncle Sam dead, and again, CCG keep finding picks, but Shogo is able to get one on Trevor.
I mean, that was your best chance, and 2 teleports end up not working in the slightest for you. And even though CCG didn't end the game then and there, one more fight is really all it's going to take. Ole Miss just haven't been able to get anything going in this game whatsoever, Eric. It's just been non-stop from Yukino. It feels like every play he was going for was working.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Now taking a look at the map state, we're 20 minutes in. This game was almost closed out. The defense from Stray prolongs it a bit more with the 10K lead. I'm not too sure how much longer this is going to go. CCG have been looking for the angles, and they're setting up for another one, leading off with Crimson. Crimson takes a lot of damage. Shogo is able to bring the hurt. And now down a member is going to be CCG. But look at Shogo. He's getting a lot of space. He's kiting back. They're unable to actually get onto this Kog'Maw. And this is where we're starting to see an angle from Ole Miss coming forward. Icelandic tries the counter-strike, but is strucken down. Instinct comes in with the rockets. He's excited. Does he got the Super Mega Death Rocket? No, that's on cooldown, but Bradley will finish off the kill nonetheless. Zap lands on the backside of Stray, and there's nowhere to go but to the blast plant. Will get over that wall in time and escape the clutches of Instinct as CCG march forward.
And then you got to imagine that's another inhibitor out of the picture here. Crimson, even though he died with the Dominus, CCG's gold lead, it's too great. So they're going to come out on top, get more gold, and they have their sights set on the Baron. This is a Jinx who's really close to that 3rd item, Eric. So you got to imagine this Baron is going to go down really quickly.
Take another look at this one. Crimson head first just runs into it, but this is the big thing. The Kog'Maw is unchecked, unchained.
Right, so this is finally an idea on what a carry like Kog'Maw can also do when you give him a little bit of space. But it got to a point where, once the W is gone, you don't have that extra range, the extra damage. You're basically out of this one. And that's why I think Icelandic going in was a little ambitious, but when you're this far behind, you gotta try stuff. So I see the vision.
I know a lot of it has to be played around the cooldowns of that W that you were mentioning earlier.
Yes.
If that's on cooldown, it's not really a good angle for Ole Miss to try and take these fights. You need space for Shogo. Shogo can get some of his own with that W.
And still, even then, he has completed the second item, but he's still a full item behind Instinct. And with this Baron buff, I mean, we're just seconds away, surely.
Yeah. Here comes CCG. Uncle Sam, you're on the wrong side of town, still hopping forward. Potential last down for Ole Miss, but Shogo gets too close to the gator and will succumb to the jaws. Stray slain 4 members down, and CCG do the victory march.
And an insane clapback coming through from CCG off a great early game from this mid jungle. Yukino, Bradley, they were all over the map. Players we've seen in Tier 2 before, and they are excited to find their way back, Eric.
Yes, they are, as they'll take us to a match point of their own. But not before laying prey to Uncle Sam, who uses the hourglass.
Respect.
Will deny it. CCG take the win and tie us up.
That's my go right there. It's about sending a message. Sold everything for the Seeker's Arm Guard, just to make sure. Jokes aside,
Like that, yeah.
I mean, it is a great response there from CCG. I mean, wow. This is exactly the kind of gameplay that made us excited about this team in the first place, and why a lot of people have them promoting alongside Mirage Alliance. Now they've answered back, and we're going to Game 3. It's a 6-game night. This is feeling like playoffs all over again.
6-game night on the first round of our promotion tournament.
Yeah.
We got to get ready. We got to get set up for that game number 3. So we're going to throw it over a short break. When we return, our final game of the night, Ole Miss versus CCG Esports. Introducing the new footlong sidekicks at Subway. Try the warm and delicious footlong cookie, footlong pretzel, or footlong churro.
For sure, it's going to be Kaisa, because that's been my day 1 champ. Ever since the champ came out, I've been one-tricking it, and I just like the champ a lot.
Maybe a Lucian skin. I really like Lucian, and he's got some cool skin, so Lucian skin for sure.
I would probably choose Fiora or Yone, actually. Something like my name in the recall, something like that. Some way to like be immortalized inside of the game.
I mean, for sure, Graves. I think any jungler would say Graves. If I had to be different, nah, I'm taking Graves all the way. Graves is already like representing, but like it don't need to do no more. Just keep everything the same. Keep it like a pool party scene. You know what I'm saying? Keep it like a pool party scene.
I mean, off the top of my head, a few of my signature champs, I guess, are like the Tryndamere, the Akshan, the Yone, maybe a little bit of Vigar from last year. I feel like not many people play those champs. I would go with Yone because he's really popular, so I would see like a bunch of people using my skin basically. It would feel pretty cool.
I'll choose Wukong because I like monkeys. You know, there's the meme with the gorilla spinning. That's people say it's the Wukong, something like that. He spins in like a really funny way. Maybe if they do it like that.
I would have to choose Tristana because she's my most played champion, and I feel like it can make a cool animation with the explosions, especially with like the rock boom, you know. So there could be something special with that.
Who's my biggest supporter? It's definitely Joshi, because even when I was like super fresh, he was still like putting me in like all pro teams for some reason, even when I was inting. So I'll shout out or say he's my biggest supporter.
Hell yeah.
Definitely my girlfriend. She watches all the games. She's in the Twitch chat all the time. Maybe you've seen a suspicious looking name there, but yeah, shout out to my girlfriend.
I would say my biggest supporter is my dad. He watches like all my matches. When I went to like try to go pro, I was working with him, and he was like, just quit, you know, because I was useless, and also because he wanted to like see me go pro.
Definitely my dad or my cousin Ryan. And my dad watches all my games, so like that's all you gotta do, you know.
My biggest supporter would definitely be my family, especially my brothers too. They're the reason I play this game. They're the reason I've been so dedicated to this game. And they've always pushed me to be better, so I love my brothers for that. And then my parents, mom and dad, always helping me out.
My dad was always there to say like, you know, like as long as you're gonna try your best and you want to do what you want to do, like I think it's good for you. And he's always been the guy to sort of like talk to my parents about letting me try my options out. So yeah, definitely my dad.
Definitely have to be my parents. They've enabled me to do a lot of things I wouldn't have been able to do without them. And the reason that I'm still playing is because of them. So just the opportunities they give me. It's as simple as that. I wouldn't be in the same place I am now if I wasn't set up for success.